A$AP Rocky has once again hinted at his new album, Don't Be Dumb, and saying that it is coming as soon as possible, ASAP. Today, we're going to go over why he just can't come through on the promises he makes when it comes to the album's release date and what the status of this whole record is right now. So let's jump straight into this. If you want to stay up to date with everything surrounding hip-hop, make sure to subscribe and also become a part of this community by joining our Discord server in the description. Real quick, if you don't want to listen to this, make sure to skip 10 seconds into the future, but you can now sign up for my free newsletter with the first link in the description. It comes every Sunday and recaps everything that's been happening in hip-hop over the past week, so make sure to do that. So as you can see, new location, I moved, still trying to figure out which lighting would be the best. I know this is suboptimal, but I'll get my professional lighting here the next couple of days, so y'all can look forward to better quality than this video. Also, the audio is going to get better, but obviously we got to talk about A$AP Rocky because you might have seen this. There was this video going around of him at some public event. I'm not even sure what it was, but fans made a video filming him, and one of the fans asked when the new album was coming. And Rocky turns around and says ASAP, which is obviously kind of funny because A$AP Rocky, as soon as possible. But still, this is the same stuff he's been saying for the longest time. We know that Don't Be Dumb just never came. We know that it's still up there somewhere in the air. And of course, fans are still waiting for it. I mean, the last that we knew of this record was when it got delayed and when he kind of blamed it on samples clearance issues and leaks, and saying that it's been 6 years since his last album and he wants to make this the best one. And that is understandable. We all want a great A$AP Rocky record. But for the release date of August 30th, which is by now over 2 months in the past, that's just not really cutting it anymore. And I made some statements back when this happened saying that, this is just not really fair to the fans because he's been delaying albums like this for the longest time because of leaks, because of samples clearance issues. So it just doesn't seem like this would be the right way to do it because, I mean, if you've been doing this for the past 6 years, you would have cleared the samples by now. Why are there samples clearances issues? I mean, Tyler also managed to do it with a 1 week rollout and had everything just kind of cleared and ready to go. So this just really, it doesn't seem like an excuse to me. And then besides the samples clearance issues and the leaks, we've had his trial, which was scheduled for October 30th, which it didn't then seem to affect this rollout all too much because he then proposed, before that, a release of August 30th. So 2 months before his trial date. So it doesn't seem like that trial was affecting the release of this record. So that's not another reason why it wouldn't be coming. Also, we've had the theory that maybe Rocky was scared of Travis Scott, who dropped Days Before Rodeo, the re-release of that mixtape, a week before, and he kind of feared that he would lose his #1 spot because of Travis. And obviously this is kind of far-fetched, and I even made a whole video about this, but it could very well still be the case that was part of the calculation why he moved his release date. And then he was kind of like, oh, well, we do have some leaks, we do have some samples clearance issues, maybe we'll kind of put it all together and explain it like that. And I mean, when you take a look at the rollout was in full motion. It was so complete. This album was announced at that Amazon Music Festival show almost 2 years ago at this point, where he said, Don't Be Dumb, new album coming soon. We're now 2 years after that fact. We've had his Billboard cover story in the summer, I think July, August, around the time that we thought this record would be coming, where he had, a feature story, where he had an interview where he talked about the new record, where he had that video of him walking through Harlem, going through his childhood, going through the places that kind of affected him growing up. So that was another big part of it. You usually don't do a Billboard cover story unless you're in the process of, either you're in the middle of making an album and you're kind of like talking about the creation of it. Rocky did that in 2022, but then also when you're right about to drop an album, which was the case with August 30th. Also, we've had this whole American Sabotage, fashion show where they've had merch, quote unquote, and these flags and everything for the Don't Be Dumb record. So it was all, kind of fitting together this whole narrative of the album dropping August 30th. It would have been perfect. It would have made so much sense to drop it that day, but he didn't. And now him saying that it's dropping ASAP is really not a good consolation for fans that have been waiting for this record for 6 years at this point. Over 6 years. It's been 6.5 years since Testing dropped. We've also gotten Hijack, obviously, which did get a video that was very much kind of like, pushed. We've had 3 trailers for the Hijack video, which, it seems like a lot for just a music video you drop as the single for the record that you then don't drop. So it all seemed like he was building up this entire hype for nothing. And I feel like at this point, he's losing a lot of people. He even posted the pre-save for the record. You could pre-save this record, and now it's just gotten delayed further and further, to a point that we now don't know when it's dropping. And him just saying it's dropping ASAP, as I said, it's just not cutting. And we've had the same situation. I remember that TMZ interview where they were interviewing Rocky as he was, stepping into this car. This might have been earlier this year, I believe. I covered it back when this was happening. And, Rocky said the album was coming ASAP. He's been saying stuff like ASAP a lot, just because it's funny, but also because it means as soon as possible. Apparently it's not coming as soon as possible, and I feel like we're in this loop of just these videos of Rocky being asked when the album is dropping and him saying soon, ASAP, all of that, but then it just never does, and he keeps pushing it back, and it is very frustrating. And I don't believe that he can kind of, just go forward like this for that much longer. The only fact that is carrying him right now is that he's A$AP Rocky, and that we know that he makes good music, and that his past albums have been pretty good, and he has a solid fan base. But if this was just objectively an artist that just doesn't drop the album and builds up hype for nothing, and then just, doesn't even address it like that, doesn't even say, okay, I'm sorry. So artists drop these sorry for the wait mixtapes where they kind of, they apologize for fans having to wait, but none of that was really 6 years at any point. Still, he doesn't even acknowledge it like that. He kind of blamed it on, other people, on leaks. Leaks and samples clearances are disrupting the album. And while he did say, I'm sorry for the wait, it seems like he's still blaming it on something other than himself. But at this point, I just can't believe that anymore. At this point, it is up to Rocky. He's had 6 years to clear samples that he wants to use. And I get that the whole process is very time consuming and very tedious. Clearing samples, putting an album together, making sure nothing leaks. But he's a professional artist. This is what he does. He's at the height of his career, and he's supposed to drop one of his best records ever. That is, still cementing him more as one of the best of this generation. And then you just can't play around like that. If this was somebody that's dropping his debut record, all right, but it's A$AP Rocky, and that's his job. I want to say that's his job, and him just not coming through on that, on the promises he makes, is pretty weak, I gotta say. That's my honest statement about it, and I feel like we're in this loop. We're gonna get more videos of him being asked when is it dropping, him saying soon, and then we're just gonna get frustrated again. So do let me know what y'all think about this. Do y'all share the thoughts with me? Do you think I'm hating? Maybe we have some hardcore Rocky fans. Rocky was my favorite artist about 3 to 4 years ago, and number one. I'm gonna say number one before anybody else, but as a fan, I'm saying this is just not it, man. But let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and y'all take care.